Rick Stroud, what did you think about the Bucs win over Kansas City? Kind of some boring football, unless you really like the performance of that starting defense for the first two drives. But when Jalen Daniels came in the second half, buddy, it changed everything, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And it was one of the worst first halves of preseason football, which is, man, that's saying something. Other than a 69-yard field goal by Buckner, that was something. But listen, they weren't going to put Baker Mayfield in a situation where he could get hurt, right? I mean, they were down to their fourth tackle, I believe. Too tall Paul Robelt. And I think that, everything they did, they ran the ball fairly effectively, at least Bucky Irving did, but then the penalties got him. And then everything was coming out quick, screens and such for Baker. And you can't really blame them for that. What was it, 8 plays? I think he attempted 4 passes, completed 2, no points. And look, I don't fault any coach really for not playing guys in the preseason. It is just, the health of a football team is the most important. But those guys do need to hear it on the mic. They do need to, go through the operational part of it. And I think that's all we're going to see. I mean, Todd Bowles hasn't committed to not playing any starters, but I would be very surprised if he did in this final preseason game. Although after today, maybe he feels like he needs to. I don't know. Once again, you have a quarterback in Jalen Daniels that no matter who he's playing against, and these guys are, not starters, and some of them won't be in the National Football League, but you see certain things about quarterbacks. You see the poise in the pocket. You see when things break down, he doesn't panic. You see him reading out stuff. You see the quick twitch that he has in making decisions, the good arm, and the ability to make plays with his feet. And at the end of the day, I mean, all those things are huge for quarterbacks in this league. And I think the fact that he played so much football at Kansas has really helped him. The biggest thing, guys, is his ability to grasp this offense, because we know that in college football, those guys don't even huddle up. I mean, they don't spit out plays anywhere. They're looking at a wristband saying number 69, or whatever it is. And now he's got this long verbiage, and he's having to call them out, read the defense, know where his guys are, and he's doing a great job of that. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can pay him, is that he's really gotten into his playbook and understood this, this offense. So we'll see. They got big decisions coming up. I would push back on anybody that thinks he's going to be the number 2 quarterback in Cincinnati on opening day. But I do think they're going to have to really think about not trying to get him through waivers, because there's too much good film on this kid.
Greg, when you look at Jalen Daniels, I think he's probably, I agree with Rick, he's done too much, right, to try to get him through waivers. Quarterback play is just not that great around the league. And it's hard to find 32 really good starters, much less 32 backups and all that, right? When you have a kid with this talent and this promise and this potential and production, and we're saying a lot of P words, and some of those are dangerous, right? In terms of potential, it's the most dangerous word in the NFL. But when you look and see what he's done, it probably will force the Buccaneers to keep 3 quarterbacks. I'm not sure that you want him out there trying to get the Buccaneers out of a game with a win with 0 playing experience in the NFL. But what is that going to do? What type of shockwaves is that going to send down the roster with the running back position, right? Can you keep 3 quarterbacks and 4 running backs? So something's got to give, right?
Yeah, so it's going to take away from depth somewhere else, and it's probably not at receiver. I think they'll keep 6 there. You think about, can they get by with 3 running backs? Can they get by with 3 tight ends? And then the question that this past game on Saturday put out there is, if they do have only 3 running backs, who's the 3rd running back? Not a question we probably thought we'd be asking right now. But Todd Bowles put Josh Williams in the game ahead of Sean Tucker. Said that he wanted to see him. He said not to put a whole lot into flip-flopping, but if they're really close, and in preseason right now, they are really close. One of them, I think, has 10 carries for 36 yards. The other has 9 for 35. Both have a touchdown. The thing is, Sean Tucker, as a restricted free agent, is making $3.5 million, and it's not guaranteed. So it feels like a little bit of a gamble. If they felt like they had just spent a whole lot of money to, say, keep Vita Vea under contract and wanted to try and do some things to cut some corners and save some cap room, if you think that you're going to lean heavy on Bucky Irving and Kenny Gainwell, and I mean, their history is that the number 3 running back doesn't play a whole lot of meaningful snaps.
Right.
Obviously, Bucky got hurt last year and Tucker played more, but you could see them taking a gamble and making the decision to let Tucker go. Now, you could let him go and think he goes somewhere else. You could let him go and try and bring him back for half of what he's making right now. It's a cold part of the business. I think there are a lot of fans here that like Sean Tucker and like that they spent to have the quality depth at running back they have. This is one of those where you got to make some tough decisions. And if they like Josh Williams, and if Josh Williams is only in the second year of his rookie deal, there's a long-term savings there in making him the 3 as well. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's kind of one of the wrinkles that'll shake out between now and Sunday at 6.
One of the things that really shook out really well that Todd Bowles has to be happy about is the play of the starting defense, right? I mean, I don't know if you could have scripted much better outside of getting sacks by your starters or getting a takeaway, a pick six, something like that. But to have the unit out there for 6 plays, give up 13 yards, and force 2 punts with 2 3-and-outs, really good run defense, some pressure off the edge. Some guy named Ruben Bain, I think he had a pretty good night as well. Rick, what were your thoughts on Todd Bowles' defense? It certainly looked as good as advertised, at least as good as he wants it to look right now.
Yeah, and we'll start with Ruben Bain. I mean, he wasn't in there very long, man. He had a hump move that looked like Reggie White, and we saw him do it in Jacksonville in one-on-ones today. Same kind of thing. That cat is the real deal. I can't wait. I hope that he gets to play all 17 games or how many ever they play. He's an absolute impact player, and he's going to be that as a rookie. And I know, Las Vegas loves him as the defensive rookie of the year. We won't crown him with that just yet, but he was very impressive. And the one thing that, about this defense, and remember, they were not playing with Vita Vea. Now, Vita Vea is back in practice. He was there today. But I think it's going to be really hard to run on this football team, really hard, because you got some bigger bodies in there. You got a guy like Josiah Trotter who can come downhill and really thump you. Anzalone's a good player in the box. And, in a perfect world, every defensive coordinator would like to stop the run with the front 7. I think the Bucs can do it, especially when Vea gets back into the fold. And that frees up, Winfield and all those guys, Tyke Smith, to be those chess pieces that Bowles loves to bring on third down. But you gotta earn the right to rush. You got to stop the run on first and second down. And I think this is a team that's going to be really difficult to run consistently on. We'll see what happens, but man, I like the size. I just like the way they rally to the ball. They're doing a lot of things right. And again, snapshot, right? Just a little picture that we had in that Kansas City game, but you guys have seen them in practice as well. It's a good front 7.
Greg, one of the things I liked about Ruben Bain was he was creating that quarterback sandwich with Yaya Diaby. Both those guys were getting off the ball and really were putting some heat on the quarterback. We also saw Ruben Bain drop into coverage, which I'm sure really thrilled the Bucs fans out there.